Welcome, and this is the 40-something Guy podcast. Hi, and thank you for listening to this episode or watching on YouTube. My name is Leo. On today's episode, I'm talking to Master Coach Iwona King. Iwona is a Registered Operating Department Practitioner, or ODP for short. And you might remember when I talked about this profession back on one of my early episodes called Introduction to the Show. And if you haven't listened to that one yet, I suggest you put that on your playlist. As an ODP, Iwona works for the NHS in Kent, UK, as an anesthetic practitioner during surgery. Alongside her clinical practice, she is also a life coach, a motivational speaker, author of the ebook It's Time to Break Free. And if all of that wasn't enough, she is also an ambassadress for the World Healthy Living Foundation in the UK. On her spare time, she enjoys dancing salsa, training Krav Maga, an Israeli self-defense fighting sport, and spending time with her daughter. Iwona's improbable journey started a few years ago when she almost lost her life. So here with me to talk about all that and much more is Iwona King. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
No, the pleasure is all mine. So Iwona, I want to talk about what's happening right now. We're just at the tail end of pandemic, and you are a clinician, a healthcare practitioner, working on the front line. So tell me a bit of your experience during this pandemic as a professional.
Well, as most of us clinical people are working at the front line or not, because all people in NHS really matter, everybody suffered with anxiety, some kind of fear, some kind of uncertainty. And it happened to me as well, you see, but to get these negative circumstances turn into kind of positive way of change, that was really important to me.
You had life-changing experience a few years back when you became a patient yourself and you almost died. Tell me a bit about that.
Well, that was very surprised for me as well, because I have been always very active, healthy to my knowledge, but stress at that time in my life was very high, which, like most of people, I have been ignoring the signs of where the body telling you that things are not exactly right. And I had a stroke. I had to undergo surgery, heart surgery, which changed completely my life, the way I think, kind of had a little reset. And that experience led me to start coaching. Really, it started because I didn't feel there was enough help with mental support after stroke. I didn't feel that I could accept the fact that I even had a stroke. You know, young woman, well, over
very young, I'm sure.
Yes.
I'm sure you were still very young.
Let's not talk about the age. Yeah, but still young, active woman. Yes, going through a lot of changes. I was going through divorce as well, and becoming a single mum. Yes, so the stress level was very high. However, the acceptance of that event, I didn't want to do it. That's it. It's kind of things like that is not happening to me. But I start seeing positive side to it and thinking this could be opportunity for me to change. So as I mentioned, I didn't feel there was enough help, mental support after events like that. I started to study myself, starting to read books, and one of the books I've read, which had been given to me 10 years before the event happened, was The Secret, which at that time I thought, no, it's a lot of rubbish. I don't believe in this. Yeah. And then just appeared 10 years later. After reading that, I thought there's something in it. I've got the power to control how I think and what I will be creating in my life. So that's how the journey started. I've joined Thinking into Result course with Bob Proctor in Canada. Obviously, I didn't go to Canada every time. I did that online. And that opened my eyes even more. And that way, I also found the purpose in life that I wanted to help people and show them opportunities and see how we can get the best out of them, see the potentials. And from the negative side, where people feel, oh, I'm not doing this right, or I'm too fat, I'm too slow, anything, you could change into the positive and to actually open up to new opportunity.
Wow. And talking about the book, The Secret, within that book, it talks a lot about the law of attraction, right? How do you apply that to your life? Then what is the law of attraction all about then?
Wow, we're going to need to have here a few episodes of this podcast. We can't put everything in one answer. It's a very broad subject, and loads of people still feel quite scared of it because it's not being magician here, but it's to be in control of yourself, of the inner world. Because as we know, we can't change other people, but we can change what we think, how we behave, and change our habits. So law of attraction is basically, in few words, we could say, what you think you become, what you're thinking of, you can hold in your hands. So again, obviously requires some work as well. It's not just thinking and you going to be imagine things and things happen, but it's the way you use your higher faculties. You know, it's like in every day we use our sense of smell, taste, touch, but we forget about the mental faculties we have, the higher one, like perception, will, reason. And the main one, which I love, is imagination.
Right.
And people think, oh, stop dreaming. No, start dreaming. I say, honestly, start dreaming. If you watch little children running around, they dream of become a hero or being a princess. Look at the way they play. They really believe that they are this particular character. Mm-hmm. And this is how we should be learning of dreaming, what we want to achieve, really. Mm-hmm. Start off the idea, what do you want in life? What is your purpose? Why are you here? And this sounds probably like, oh gosh, a little bit too heavy, a little bit too much, but we're here for some reason. Like the best way to find out your purpose, people think, oh yeah, I want to be a singer, but do you really? So the best thing to gain clarity will be sit somewhere quiet when you're not going to be disturbed. Best thing is to sit in a nature.
Okay.
And take a moment, really be in a moment. And the answers will slowly come forward. But people, we all think that everything have to happen very quickly. Now, I need to fix it this minute. No, sometimes take time. Yeah. And sometimes things happen that will show you what you really want. But going back more to the law of attraction, you see, if you think in the morning, oh, I'll be late, I'm late for work, you will be late. Suddenly you will have a traffic, you will become clumsy, you'll be tripping over, you forget things, you're going back home, so you are late. But if you say to yourself, everything is fine, I'm relaxed, I'm be on time, you create that, but you create via vibration. And then again, like I said, this could be a very long subject here. Yeah. Vibrations. So everything vibrates. Everything around us is energy. We are the energy.
Sure.
And this is simple. You know, working in a medical field as well, our body is made of cells, but the smallest part of our being is an atom. An atom is energy. Yeah. So it vibrates. Have you ever had that feeling when you meet someone and sometimes you think, I don't really know you, but there's something about you I don't like. Yeah. There's something that is really pushing me away. Yeah. That's energy.
That's the energy.
But the energy can work the opposite as well. Like with us, when we've met, you see, we thought like, I don't really know you, but I feel like I know you for years and it was easy to talk.
True, it was, indeed.
So that's energy.
Interesting. Oh, how I like that. And you said about being in the moment, the now, and grounding yourself. But you said that in terms of being in contact with nature. But I was listening to an interview by Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. And obviously everybody knows him. He's a superstar. He's a celebrity. But he's a very, very humble guy and a very grounded person. And he said on this interview to Oprah that for him, what grounds him is actually being at the gym, which for him is much more than just working the body. It's actually working with his mind as well, which is interesting because obviously grounding can mean many, many different things for many, many people. Like for him, it's being at the gym. For some other people, it's being in contact with nature. With some other people, it may be something else, doing yoga, I don't know, cycling, playing tennis. So, how do you think we could explore that sort of thing in terms of finding what grounds you?
Right. So every day we're running around like crazy. Work, children, wife, husbands, shopping, ironing, blah, 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 all that. Yeah. So how are you going to find a moment what actually grounds you? You have to stop. You have to literally stop and make an appointment with yourself for 15 minutes. And just 15 minutes really out of 24 hours is not that much. But in that 15 minutes, switch off the radio, the phone, particularly the phone.
Most important.
You can have a music if you want, but I, for example, don't have any sound. And the best time for me is in the nature. But if you can't do it, just stop. Just stop for a moment and let the brain not switch off, but let it think. Because when you're so busy thinking, I'm going to jump a little bit here and remember when I started doing this and I went into park, sitting on the grass, thinking this is great, yeah. But through my head was going, I need to do the ironing. Okay, then I've got the shopping. Then I need to prepare the uniform. Then, and it was going like that. No, let the thoughts pass. Don't kind of think, I'm not going to think about it. I'm not going to think about it. No, just let it by. Treat them a little bit like uninvited guests.
Okay.
Oh, you popped in. Okay, nice to see you. Bye. Just passing through. And then consciously try think, okay, I'm sitting on this ground. Oh, there is a nice grass. I can smell the air. I can feel the wind in my face, or I can feel the sun. Basic little things, or like make conscious effort. I'm listening to this bird, which you normally wouldn't hear. That's why you see when COVID happened, I think, in a way, yes, very sad, negative thing, but also positive. Because we all stopped.
Yes.
Suddenly, we had time for ourselves. The one who could stay at home suddenly had time for their families.
Yes.
You kind of heard comments that people start learning to live with each other because they don't see normally each other, because one is at school, at work, coming, passing, through the door. And suddenly this become a good time in a way to make us stop and think. And maybe in a way, nature is telling us, stop. Some people were making comments like, oh, have you noticed the sky when the traffic stop? It start being more clear.
Yeah, true.
People start being a little bit kinder to each other.
Yeah.
Because we were going through the same thing. So that's what grounding to me means. Just stop running, stop this race. And even when we're busy at work, as you know, sometimes it takes seconds just to stop. In your brain, just don't think, if you can, obviously for safety reason. And then you'll be surprised. The solutions come, the answers come to your question that are going through your head, and your whole body will calm down. Your energy will change.
Yeah, that is so cool, because I was listening to another interview, because I listen to there's a lot of interesting people talking, just like yourself.
Oh, thank you.
And but there was an interview by Elizabeth Gilbert. She is the author of Eat, Pray and Love, and she was telling this story about how she had these conversations with herself. And I found really interesting, because when she's got to make, she's a bit anxious about something, like she mentioned this example where during this pandemic, she wanted to lend her apartment for a nurse that came to New York, because the nurse didn't have anywhere to stay. So although it's a very honorable thing to do, at the same time, she was very anxious because she was thinking, but oh my God, what about my neighbors? I am going to invite this person who is a healthcare worker. Potentially, you're going to be treating these COVID patients, so in contact with this disease every day, and she's gonna bring that home to my apartment and to the people around me, including my neighbors. So she had this anxiety thought and controversy between, should I help because the nurse needs help, or should I not because of my neighbors and also perhaps my own health? So she had these conversations with herself where she called love. So she needs to have a conversation with love, where she calls love, so love, I need to talk to you, and love comes. And then she starts a conversation with love. And love replies back. So she asks questions to love, and love asks back. But the interesting thing that she said is that love never gives answers in the sense of what to do and not to do. But love gives her direction. Like what she said is, I need to help this nurse, but I have my neighbors. What should I do? And then love is saying, well, it's very late at night. You're a bit tired today. And why don't you go and rest? And we'll think about that tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? And I thought that was extraordinary. I mean, I think that is really cool and really great, because it's a way to work things through within yourself, with the power of your own mind.
Yes, because she was looking for the alignments with her thoughts, you see. And when she was talking, in my understanding, the love, that she was talking to love, it's not so much that she was talking to love, but she was trying to get herself in a level of the love vibration. Because if you look at many charts on anywhere on the internet that show you the field, the magnetic field of love and the magnetic field of fear, anxiety and hate, love always wins. So that's where we're talking about the vibrations as well. You see, you can drive yourself completely mad with should I not, but it's also what you think more of, you will create. So if you're constantly living in a fear and thinking, oh, I'm going to catch the virus, I'm going to catch the virus, I'm going to die, I'm going to die. Even speaking those words give energy, give the creation. That's why people need to be educated and informed that the way they speak to each other. Show me any woman that really is happy to get up in the morning, look in the mirror and say, you look amazing. What do they normally say? Oh gosh, that one needs lifting, that one needs lifting, you know. No, wake up, look in the mirror and say, gosh, you gorgeous girl. You know, you got a new day here, new opportunities, new fun coming your way.
That would be amazing, wouldn't it? I guess what everybody would like to do.
It's possible, and you can do that. You see, and then coming back to COVID, this situation, we're just coming out, everybody is tired. The mind is tired, but also through a lot of people was living in fear rather than in love. A lot of people were asking me, friends, like, obviously I've been working, but I had some time off as well. People were asking me, so you're not scared? Are you going to? Of course I was scared. I was going through this little bit motion of, but then I knew that I could use my experience and my knowledge, time to control this inner world, start to control your thinking, to get in line of what do you want to do? This could be your opportunity. So what could you do? I had time to read more books, get in touch with people, start writing new programs, get ready for some live presentations. And then people saying to me, like certain friends, oh, I've seen you on a Facebook doing, for example, Life for the World Healthy Living Foundation. Oh, when did you have the time? Because I didn't concentrate so much on,
on the negative.
Yeah, on the negative. Yes, I knew, I'm being realistic. Yes, it's there. I'm doing my best of taking the precaution and everything what I've been advised not to do or what I should do to protect myself and my family and my friends. But at the same time, I'm not going to concentrate and use my energy on that. I was refocused. I didn't watch news, and I still don't watch news because there's a scarcity sometimes, you know. And yes, I know there's a lot of information that we should know, but I find concentrate on something you want to achieve, on something that makes you feel good.
So it's mindset, the key here.
Yes, absolutely. Mindset. And how can I put this? What you think will also affect your body.
Okay.
Because that's why we've got psychosomatic illnesses, right? So imagine if you're constantly grumpy, constantly angry, full of bitter feelings, emotions, right? You will then start feeling that in your body. The stress, if, for example, it will show in your gallbladder.
All right.
I'm talking from experience, my own experience, where when you kind of forget and not listen to your body. I had a pain and I came to the hospital, gallbladder, had a scan. They said, well, it's not really nothing there. And then I start thinking, what did I think? What was happening? What emotions are going through? And I felt, it's my emotions. It's not my body. My body is just telling me about the emotions I'm going through. And you see how the mindset, again, imagine a person and your head is split in half. And then we've got the conscious and subconscious mind. And then everything we expose ourselves. So the type of music you listen to, the people you surround yourself with, the books you read, it will eventually go to the subconscious. So it will feed your body. The same like the consciously, you don't have to think, my heart needs to beat right now, otherwise I'll die.
Of course.
It's happening subconsciously. But the exposure consciously, you've got a choice, always got a choice. The choice you make will eventually go into the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind will expose the emotions as emotions via your body. But then the emotions would lead you to action. So what actions you take will give you a result. So again, if you look at your results, for example, loads of people saying, I want to lose weight. But look at your results. So why you're not losing weight? What's happening here? So go back to what actions you're taking. Are you actually getting up in the night and just have a little trip to the fridge? You know, apparently that's why we've got a light in the fridge, you know, to go.
It's for those nightlight
absolutely.
treats.
Yes. What was you thinking? Why are you going for that extra food? And then you go back and why have I exposed myself? Am I really stressed? Because we've got people who eat a lot because they're stressed and people who stop eating because they're stressed. So you see, everything is really connected.
Well, the problem is with food, I see, from my understanding, is that food brings comfort because it appeals to our senses. And that becomes almost like a vicious thing, a vicious cycle, because you get hooked up on that feeling of satisfaction that food brings us. isn't it?
Absolutely.
So that becomes a vicious cycle. So I think the first battlefield for anybody, and I include myself, when you want to lose weight, it is taming that mind.
Exactly. If you can control the hunger, then you can control anything, really, if you think about it. It's not just about food, but people who are shopaholics.
Yeah.
What give you the thrill? What feelings, what emotions you get through when you get yourself something new and like, oh yeah, I've got it, you know. But you could use that kind of emotions you could use to create something. So change the bad habit to something new, to a new habit. But that takes time. And people these days want, give me a quick fix. People who I meet and they're asking me for help. Yeah, but I want a quick fix. So you think within a week, can I be fixed?
Yeah.
Well, that depends on you.
Yeah.
How much you're going to put work on yourself.
That's right.
Because I can tell you all the strategies, I can give you all the tools, but if you're not going to the work.
Yeah.
So you see, it's a law of attractions combined with a mindset and the work you need to do with yourself.
Yeah. No, that's brilliant. That's great. I think there's a lot of truth in that.
I could actually bring you a little example here. You see, when Second World War, the prisoners for example, in Auschwitz, there was, I read an article about this gentleman who said, they can't make me think what I don't want to think. So even he was obviously abused physically, but nobody could get physically into his head and tell him what to think. So he survived only by visualizing yes, the freedom, seeing his love of his life, being free, being, you know, out of that horrible place, but also controlling his mind. So he was focusing more on what he's going to do when he's going to get out of there and controlling what he's thinking in a particular present moment.
You need a very strong mindset for that, to be honest with you, under those circumstances. But that's a very extreme situation, isn't it? But it's to say to us that it is possible. You know,
well, he survived.
He survived. He went through that ordeal and he survived. So what is my weight loss battle, my addiction to shopping, compared to something like that? So if he can do, I'm sure I can do too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We just mentioned, you know, the highest faculties, like one of them is will, and reasoning is actually how we think. So if you've got an idea, a lot of people want to do things, they've got the goal, they've got the dream, but they're too scared. So again, you've got a choice, but why are they scared? Because naturally the brain is protecting you. Obviously, it's never going to happen. You're never going to do this because this is not your everyday routine. This is not what we do, you know. So the brain going to tell you, you can't do that. Yes, you can. You just need to reset the thinking. And if you notice all the successful people and people who achieve the small and the big successes and the goals are people who pushing themselves out of the comfort zone. Yeah. You're never gonna grow in your comfort place.
Oh, absolutely not.
So again, talking about fear and the times we're living in, you can use that fear as a fuel, but again, it's your choice.
Wow. Whew. Wow, you could just stop there, but there's more. There's more, because that was really good. That's great. I love that. So tell me, I always had this question in my mind, because we see these titles everywhere, but I don't actually know what a life coach is. What is that exactly?
Right, that's quite good questions. Life coach, well, there's loads of different names, right? I feel I could call myself transformation life coach because I'm looking at the person holistic way. But this is also from the background. I come from the medical side of our job.
Yes.
There is another health coach, for example, and they're supposed to be the coaches who help you lose weight and gain the ideal weight and when you're going to be feeling happy. So life coach is well comparing to like counselor, for example, because a lot of people say, well, what's the difference? You see, counseling, it goes much more deeper in your past and trying to, yes, you need to kind of digest emotions and events from your past, but a life coach concentrate more, okay, so this is the outcomes from your past, this is the results, what we've got here now. There are techniques and strategies to help kind of leave the past in the past, but let's look what we can do right now, what we can do to go forward. What would you really want to achieve? So from your pain right now here, how can we go to the pleasure and to reach the ideal place of your happiness? But again, the happiness will, you know, people say, oh, if I only get that job, I'll be happy. Or if I only win lottery, I'll be happy. No, you won't be happy till you're here right now, this minute, because past is gone. Tomorrow, I don't know, but right now, now, like me sitting with you, if I'm not happy right now doing this, then I'm never going to be happy. Exactly. So, and never ever rely on other person to give you the happiness, because that's not the responsibility. It's your responsibility to make yourself happy first, and then teach people how to love you. Because, you know, that's the difference, I suppose, with life coach and counselor, but they're excellent working together, because I've seen people who use my service but also have a counselor at the same time, and the results were amazing. So you see, is what is good for that particular person.
You touched about happiness, and happiness is something that I think that is not unattainable, but it's not eternal, because happiness is a momentarily.
Yes.
But you're completely right. I agree with you that happiness shouldn't be trusted to other people. If I want to be happy, I should start with myself, making myself happy first, and then I will be able to make other people happy.
Yes, it makes sense. But people see it like the famous series, Sex in the City. Don't forget to love yourself first, or fall in love with yourself first. People see this as being very egoistic and selfish. No, you're not. Because you're not... If you're not harming or hurting anyone in the process of it, then you're not. But how do you want the other person and the other people to love you or respect you if you don't know how to respect and love yourself? So how do you want to teach them about you if you don't know yourself? Because, you know, we mentioned, yes, my name is Iwona King, but that's just my name. But who am I? Yeah. People say, no, you Iwona King. No, that's my name. Yeah. But me as a person...
What does that actually represent?
Exactly. But how can I tell you if I don't know myself? But I can tell you.
Please do.
So, yeah, I do talk a lot to myself. You see, I'm having that conversation.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we'll knock again.
No, I've learned as well that gratitude, you see, is one of the keys to happiness. So the first thing in the morning, I ask my clients saying, what do you do the very first thing when you open your eyes? And they say, well, stretch. I'm like, that's good, but what do you actually do? Well, turn the alarm off. Where's your alarm? On my phone. Okay, so what do you do next? I look through the Facebook and see how wonderful everybody's life is. So then I'm feeling already depressed and my vibration already dropping. Oh, as I'm on Facebook, I check the emails. I'm on email, so I better check the Instagram. And off you go. And the toxic energy is coming in. But how about buy yourself an old-fashioned alarm clock, open your eyes and actually say, thank you. I've got a new day in front of me. And find, for example, 5 things that you're grateful for. Could be anything and everything. At the beginning, I was saying, thank you for chocolate.
That was your thing.
Yes, for example. But it's anything that will help you raise the vibration, but also gratefulness is a way of being healthy. Because when you're in a place when you're grateful, you create happy hormones in your body. So when we produce all the happy hormones, we're in a good mood.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how you start your day. So I advise have a good morning routine, because your morning routine will define your day.
Just like good breakfast.
Yeah. Good fuel for the body.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to fuel both of them, don't you? You have to fuel the body with the right stuff and the mind with the right stuff as well, because you can see the impact of both negative and bad food in both of them.
You know, I think Ron said this, that your body is the only home you have. So take care of it. Yeah. And it's true. It's true. But your body also is just the instrument of your mind. Of course, yeah. So what the mind tells the body will do. But many people still believe what the body tells me, the mind will do. So people who have pains, they believe they're in so much pain and they think so much about the pain that they start thinking negative things and the roller coaster starts. Right? But if we turn this around, why do I have this pain? And I'm not saying, illness come from emotional background, because obviously we've got genetic and different reasons. But if you put these two together, you can really heal yourself.
Yes, no, I'm a strong believer of a strong mindset can bring positive outcomes to your body and to your health. But the literature, medical literature, does support that claim, because especially people who has gone through surgery or cancer, terminal diseases, but that have gone through those diseases with a positive, a strong mindset, some of them had really, really better outcomes than initially predicted. And some of them even survived and beat cancer. I'm not going to say that it's purely because of the mindset, but it surely helped.
I tell you two stories. One of them is that the time when I had my stroke and I had to go for the cardiac surgery, just before my dad had a heart attack, massive heart attack, which he was very lucky. I found him in a car, actually.
Oh, my God.
And we were in Poland, and luckily he went very quickly to the hospital, being treated. But because of the heart attack, you see, negative thing, you would think, we found out he had cancer.
Oh.
And the cancer was pretty advanced. The same time, his heart attack left him with 25% of his heart working. But something happened there, you see. He's seen this as positive result. He was actually supporting me that time when I was going for my cardiac surgery. He said, just time and think positive. Just give time for your body to heal and think positive. And they gave my dad 2 years.
Oh, wow.
So because of his heart condition and obviously the 25% of activity of his heart, he couldn't go for typical treatment. But when he went for the treatment, when he was there, sometimes I was wondering if he's losing his marbles, because it's lovely here. I'm meeting so many really nice people. And he was really expressing his experience like he's on some kind of holiday, which I thought, okay, this made me think. And you see, even with the treatment, they said that 2 years, I think we're in a 5th year because of his mindset.
Wow.
And he was, again, a very active person as well. And he still is, just my mum don't know. But that's one thing. And I remember the same with myself when I've been told by the specialist that I shouldn't be even here because of the stroke. Right. The way it happened and the way my heart was connected, basically I should have a PE and suffocate and died.
Oh,
but
wow.
Somehow it went to my brain, and that's a good excuse I've got if I say something silly. I've got brain dead. Just tiny bit of my brain is dead. So it's very good. And plus, going blonde. Maybe I shouldn't say that.
Nothing against the blondes, it's just a joke.
It's a joke. Yeah, blondes have more fun, I heard.
Here you go. Oh, yeah.
He told me that I won't be able to go back to dancing and forget about Krav Maga and things like that. So 4 weeks after the surgery, what did I do? I've gone to the Krav Maga class, which I found in my region. And I just asked the trainer, without telling him what happened to me, can you just check how my condition is, my physical condition? And he said, well, it's pretty good. I'm like, great. I just had a, cardiac surgery 4 weeks ago. And he said, what? Get out of that class now. And when I told that to my specialist, he went a little bit crazy at me, which I understand that. And it took a lot of time, but my way of thinking, like, I will be going to that class. I will be completing my gradings. And actually, the thinking was so strong that for a short period of time, for over a year, I become self-defense instructor, which led me to coaching the kids.
Oh, wow. How lovely.
So that was really good experience, which you see the negative led into the positive.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're now an ambassadress for the World Healthy Living Foundation.
Yes.
Tell me a bit about that. What do they stand for?
What they stand for. You see, this again, is a story to it. And I believe nothing happened for no reason. Everything is happening for a reason. I've met a very young, nice lady, Emilia, which started talking to me about a company called Dual Life and selling a supplement. As being in the medical field as well, I was very skeptical about, like, oh yeah, every company say their supplements are the best and everything, and you're the best in the world and all that. However, we start chatting a little bit more, and her husband, his name is Martin Hardy, that's his business name.
Oh wow.
He's an amazing guy who can change your body into very good shapes with using no weight.
Interesting.
Yes, very interesting.
I might want his contact later.
I'm happy to pass it on. Absolutely. Great people as well. So they introduced me to Dual Life, and then they invited me to do a presentation, first presentation in Polish language in the UK. Right. It was like a business seminar. So that's how it started. And then I've been introduced more and more to the products, start using them, thinking this is actually working. And then I had the great pleasure of meeting Dr. Kardash, who is really creating all this wonderful supplement. And I had the pleasure of, well, I'm saying pleasure because it was a pleasure, translating his conference and his presentation and be on the stage with him together.
Translating from Polish to
English, which was some kind of experience.
I'm sure it was.
Yes, because the knowledge, the amount of knowledge, within one sentence sometimes, it was almost impossible to be translated.
Yeah.
And after the presentation, I've been told that there was about 6 interpreters. I'm not interpreter by trade.
Yeah.
So, and they said no. So I was very honored, but also I'm thinking I'm completely crazy here, But that was a great step, which led me, by surprise again, I've been nominated then as an ambassador for the World Healthy Living Foundation. And they are created by Duo Life, by Bartosz Królikowski and his partners. And they well known in 14 countries.
Wow,
worldwide.
They're big.
I think they're getting bigger and bigger.
Wow.
And the really reason why they've been created to make people, the whole world, aware really and educate for and promoting a healthy approach to life. So activity, so healthy food, supplements and creativity in a way like you can chase your dreams and you can actually achieve them. Honestly, they fantastic company and fantastic foundation, which I'm very happy to represent.
Okay. So what was the appeal for you when they came up with this proposition for you to become an ambassadress? What was the thing that caught your eye?
The society is basically they put a person in a center.
Okay.
So when you go to these big conferences, to any of the massive companies, I don't know, but my experience, you felt they never got time for you, the big top people, the top bosses. It's not in this case. Like Bartosz Królikowski, he find the time to speak to you, even if it's quickly and say, meet me later, or they find time for you. But it's not also that. They help you to develop self-growth and they give you 3 opportunities. You see, the business, if you want to start business, you can to get involved with the supplement selling or whatever you want. If you want a growth, there's plenty of conferences, courses, or being around people who can teach you a lot and you will be self-growing. And then obviously is the health. There's a lot of knowledge and natural. You see, we're talking about natural. Gosh, nothing against medicine and, medical fields, but obviously we're all going back to natural solutions.
Okay.
So
like a bit of herbal.
So and is the quality, is the energy, is the knowledge, the people, but most is that they put the person in a center.
Pretty good. So in that sense, because it seems to me that they come from a holistic approach to health and well-being, is it possible then to be healthy but not do exercise?
Well, it depends what you call exercise, you see, and you need to listen again to your body, because maybe for someone just walking will be enough exercise and that's what the body will allow, but it's a start. And I think exercise in any movement is very important, because not only to keep, you see, if you make your body tired, your mind will rest. Yes. But at the same time, movement is important for changing the physiology of the emotion. So for example, right now, if this was presentation or teaching session, I would say to the people, right, let's stand up, let's move your neck, turn your head. And the music, I would have the music, make them jumping, make them moving around, because they'll be awake. That's one thing. Secondly, you creating again the higher vibration. You changing the physiology of your body. I just moved now. You see, I've changed. I've changed my body and
change mine too. I'll change mine too.
It's releasing in a short space of time, releasing the chemicals in your body, so you feel more attentive. Or when you're really miserable, sitting there thinking, oh, really, how long? Just change, and I find that there is many ways of doing that. So music is one of them, thought, or just move, just literally change your position, like we just did.
Okay, Cool. I feel good already.
Oh, here you go then.
But talking about exercise, you've been training an Egyptian fight sport style
Israeli,
called
yes.
Israeli, I'm sorry, called
Krav Maga.
Krav Maga. So how did you get into that?
Well, that was soon after my cardiac surgery and after my stroke. And because I was going through a difficult divorce, and I promised myself that I will make sure that I can look after myself. So I thought Krav Maga, it gives you great opportunity to exercise. So you don't need to go to the gym really, because you're using your own body.
Okay.
It's great for your mind because you learn to control the body via mind, and also give you the best self-defense system if you're in a situation where you would need to use it, is there.
Is there. Okay. But as an exercise as well, it gets you in a good place, doesn't it?
It puts your limits. It does push your mental and physical limits, but I would say it's the best exercise I could recommend, especially for kids, to be honest with you, because not only, this is not about fight, this is more about how you can solve the situation and dissolve the anger, the aggressiveness, the conflict. Yes, that's what it's more about. But if you need to,
is there for you.
Is there for you. Is a chance. It gives you a chance to get out of unwanted situation and circumstances. But with kids, you see, build their self-confidence as well. Not only with kids, I felt much better within myself. I felt that I can protect myself. I can think differently. I'm more in control. It's just great. And you meet a lot of great people.
I'm sure you do, like yourself, for instance.
Thank you.
And but I guess being a woman, it does give you that little bit of extra confidence, doesn't it? Knowing that you have that in the bag.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, women these days, I don't know if they feel vulnerable as much, but yes, I know there is a lot of martial arts. But I really do believe Krav Maga, maybe because it helped me quite a lot. And it did change the way I thought. You see, when I started training, and I was training the kids as well with a really good, trainer, Dan Evans, I had a little incident, nearly incident, being on a train going from Stansted Airport to central London. And we had a family to my left with 2 kids, and there was a guy sat in front of me. And he was friendly, I would say, the way he looked. He had like a big hat which came right to his eyes, so you couldn't really see his expressions or his face. And prior to Krav Maga, I probably would a little bit be nervous and feeling intimidated and panic, or which probably my fear would fit into his, and then I don't know.
Yeah.
But he didn't look friendly, particularly the conversation he was having on the phone. It didn't sound like something you do every day, if you know what I mean. But because the training in Krav Maga, it gave me, okay, what am I going to do here? I was calm in my body. I was thinking, I was more aware about what's going on around me. And the thoughts were coming, if he, strike, is it going to be necessary, what I'm going to do? What force I'm going to use it? Or do I actually need to use any force? Or how am I going to solve the issue? So very different way of thinking when you're in a public to a person who is not aware that a system like that is available.
Interesting. But tell me then, we've gone through so many things in your life. You've gone through divorce, you almost died, you have a...
I don't do things by half, you see.
Yes, exactly.
And there's always something happening.
Exactly, you see.
I'm not bored.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure you're not a bored person, definitely not. But you've gone through all those life-changing experiences. At this point in your life, what is the most important thing you wish you would know when you started this whole journey, perhaps?
You see, I wish that they teach at school how to think. I'm not talking about knowledge from A to B or A to Z, like, maths, languages and all that. That's important as well. But how to actually think, how to really learn things about yourself. All the things we just spoke about, the mental activities of thinking. And I suppose that then as a kid or young person taught me more about gratitude, how to use all my higher faculties, what we mentioned as well. I think that if I knew that would be available earlier, then probably I would have done more. But at the same time, I'm thinking I had to go probably through all these experiences to become the person
you are today.
I am today and where I'm heading. Yeah. But I'm trying to teach my daughter and show her that this is all the available knowledge that she can use, but it's her choice.
Yes, Yes, absolutely. And how do you see yourself, let's say, in 10 years' time then?
In 10 years' time, I'll be on your talk show, am I not?
Oh, I like you. You're going to come back.
Yeah.
Yes, I just saw myself there too now.
Absolutely. You see, visualization is very, very important. That's where I'm seeing myself, that I could reach far more people. And yeah, with you on your big, loud talk show.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Oh, I love that idea. Yeah.
All over the world, not just UK, yeah?
Ooh, well,
Yeah.
yeah, let's go for it. Let's start now.
Absolutely. If you're going for it,
This is the first episode of that journey. I'm sure it is.
You're right. You see, I will remind you about it in 10 years' time.
Please do. Please do.
I will do that, yeah. Because we just set a goal.
We did, didn't we?
Yeah.
We did. Oh, now we're going to have to come true.
Absolutely.
We're going to have to come true now.
And that's what people, usually say, oh, yeah, but I don't know how I'm going to achieve that. The how, it scares them. Mm-hmm. Instead of thinking, why do you want it? What for? Mm-hmm. And see yourself at the end. The journey is the fun. That's what you need to enjoy, because when you get there, be like, what now? What next? Yeah. So enjoy the journey towards that goal.
Yeah.
And the goal should scare you. If it doesn't scare you, it won't change you. And if it doesn't change you, you're not going to be the person you should be maybe to become by when you want to reach that goal. Because, sometimes we should be prepared for receiving what we're asking for.
So yeah, be careful with what
you think or you wish for.
You wish for. Yeah. So true, so true. So in an ever-changing world full of uncertainties, what would you say to then anyone who might not be sure if he or she should pursue a passion?
Passion is important, but you see people looking for the purpose, why they're here, what they want to do, sometimes the wrong way. Go somewhere quiet, and that's why the time with yourself is so important, to hear what you actually want, what you feel, what you really enjoy it. So turn the passion, the things you really, really enjoy it, into passion, and then into whatever you want to do. I enjoy talking, I just noticed.
No, not at all. No, it's been lovely talking to you.
So I'm trying to turn this into helping people, and that's my passion. Mm-hmm. So that's my purpose, to share the knowledge, to pass the positive energy, to create events, to create presentation, to meet people like yourself, to go forward with that. But definitely don't give up your dreams. You have to dream, because
everything that ever existed on this earth is actually first is existing in someone else's mind.
Absolutely.
Right?
The light, the airplane, the camera, the
mobile
phone.
phones,
Exactly.
Everything.
So that's important, and just have to remember that you're never ever going to please everyone. If you want to please everyone, go and sell ice creams.
I so love that.
Yeah.
I never heard that. That is so good.
Job said that. So, you will never ever please everyone. Stop worrying what other thing. Everybody's entitled to opinion, but if you allow that opinion to come into your inner world, then it's your choice. You've got the power. I usually say, if someone says something sad or not pleasant towards me, I just say, in my head obviously, because otherwise they could think I'm mad. I say, thank you for your gift, but I don't take that. Or thank you, but no thank you.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And it stops there.
It stops there. I'm not allowing going in.
That's very powerful.
Your thoughts, your limitation. If you're telling me I can't do something, that's your limitation, not mine. So your opinion will not create my reality. I create my reality myself.
True. And that just made me think of actually how I started this podcast. Because when I first started this podcast, I've been listening to podcasts, and I still do, because it's something that I like. And I thought, well, it would be fun to start a podcast in a different way, talk to interesting people that I know, that are close to me, or that I work with, because there's lots of interesting people within the NHS, and not just within the NHS, but in my close relations, I got to know a lot of the interesting people. So I started the podcast, and but I put it in the drawer, inside the drawer. I started, but kind of in a lazy way, so put it inside this drawer. And a friend of mine was talking to me because he knew about the podcast, and they said, so when is the podcast going live? I said, well, it's coming, but I haven't recorded anything yet. I've done other things, but I haven't recorded anything yet. And he said to me, well, it's fine. You got 10 years, right? I said, 10 years? What do you mean about 10 years? I said, well, you're the 40-something guy, aren't you? You got till 50 till you get this together. I thought, shit, I don't want to be the 50-something guy. I want to be the 40-something guy with this. But that was the kick that I actually needed. You know what I mean? He changed my perspective and said, you know what? I'm just going to go for it. And then here we are talking, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I just said in 10 years' time, maybe less, we'll be on your talk show.
We will be. Might have to change the name, though. I don't want to call the 50-something guy.
No.
We should call something else.
Something else.
Something
but you
else.
see, age doesn't matter really because KFC, he came successful in his, I think, mid or late 60s.
Oh, was he?
So here you go then.
Now. I did not know that.
So there is, age is no limit.
No, I think age is just a number.
Yes.
I think age is not who you are.
I'm stuck in my 20s. I don't know about you.
Oh, jeez, I haven't passed the 18th yet.
Well, see, plenty of time to grow.
Absolutely. Iwona, it's been lovely talking to you. You gave me so much insights about things that I should and should not do with my life and with my attitude and so on. So is there anything else you'd like to say at this point to whoever is listening to us?
Keep dreaming, but don't just keep dreaming. What I would suggest, write yourself a letter to the person you want to be in 5 years' time. But imagine we know each other and I'm bumping into you on the street saying, oh, hello, whoever your name is.
John, Mary,
yeah, Adam. And I'm asking, how are you? What happened in your life? So from today, in 5 years' time, imagine we meeting up just by accident, but there's no accidents,
no,
right?
There's no coincidences in life.
Absolutely. So then you describe in that letter what you're up to, what is your life, but you're describing what you want to have in that 5 year time, okay? And you write in like it's now. You've got it already. Okay. And then you read this letter to yourself. You don't have to show it to anyone, but you read this letter to you every night before you go to sleep.
Oh, wow.
And just let me know what happened.
Ooh, I got the chills now. That's powerful. That's powerful stuff there.
It is. Trust me.
Wow. Oof.
And if you're still struggling, just get in touch with me. I'll help you further.
Absolutely. And talking about that, how people can get in touch with you?
At the moment, my website is still building, but you can get in touch with me on the Facebook, Messenger, Instagram, or email, which we can...
I can definitely put it on the show notes or bring it up on the screen, because if you're watching on YouTube. But you're also on Instagram, you said?
Yes.
Instagram and Facebook. So how can people find you on Instagram and Facebook? What's the domain?
Is Iwona King.
Just Iwona King?
Yeah.
Okay, no dash, no underscore.
No,
just Iwona King. Okay, so Iwona King at Facebook and Instagram.
And my email.
And the email address, which we'll put it later on the show notes. Okay.
And then I can give further contact, like my phone number. And
yeah, absolutely. And if people are having trouble to contact you, if you listen to this or watch this video and having trouble in contact with Iwona, let me know and I'm more than happy to connect the dots.
Thank you so much. It was really a pleasure and it was a lot of fun.
It was.
I really enjoyed this. Thank you.
Now, Iwona, I'm the one to thank you for your time, for your precious knowledge, and for this lovely session that we just had. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Okay.
And well, that's it for now. Thank you so much for listening to this show or watching on YouTube. If you're watching this video, please give me the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram at the 40-something guy podcast. Feel free to drop me a line on either platforms so I can hear your impressions and opinions about the show. And just before I go, you can contact Iwona by email at iwonaking27@gmail.com. That is IWONA King27, the number 27, at gmail.com. So thanks again, and I hope to see you again soon in one of my talks. But until then, cheerio!